Hey there, beautiful being. Welcome. Welcome to the Siddique space or the YouTube or wherever you're watching this. I just wanted to pop up and read you a poem from my first book, The Prize, which came out 20 years ago this year. And tomorrow I'm reading at Bradford Literature Festival. Well, I'm in a literary conversation about the prize and its kind of legacies, both personally and kind of into the world across the last 20 years. And of course, how it's fed into my other work and stuff like that. And it's likely I'll read a few poems out. And it's interesting, I was going through it the other day. And you always have a very interesting relationship with your first book, because your first actual book comes out properly published, edited, been through the whole kind of works, as it were. And whether it sells or not, the fact is that you're an author and you can never be unpublished, and that's an incredible thing. But you always look back at your first book as kind of, and I've talked to many writers about this, actually, many authors about this, that you always look back and think, that got me started, but, I've got somewhere else to go, as it were. And hopefully you achieve that through your work in your time. And I feel I did, and I do achieve that these days. There's been a nice run for maybe 10, 15 years now where I feel like what I write actually hits where I want it to go, and speaks to its reader. And so I got to thinking that, well, maybe, the first book didn't manage that. But then I look at it and it's like so many of these poems actually I still feel have got some real life and energy to them. And the poem I want to read you is called Cheap Moisturiser. And I wrote this poem about a kind of difficult relationship with my mum. My mum died in 2016. I wrote this just before the book came out, and it was a late inclusion in the book. So she was 74 when I wrote this. I won't tell you too much about it. And I was always trying to find a way to sort of connect with my mum, the archetype of the mother and so on. And so I tried to just find ways through. So that's what this poem is about. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the legacy of this poem after I've read it to you. I need to change my glasses. Just give me a second in order to read this to you. Hi. Hello, these are the reading glasses. Yeah, so here we go. Oh, that's so much better. Cheap Moisturiser. I worry every time I see her. It may be the last time. My mother is 74 this year, that age when, if she doesn't answer the phone, my stomach backspins. Today, I massaged her hands with moisturiser, with drops of lavender mixed into it. Her arthritis is really bad in her left hand, the thumb closing over the palm, her middle finger thick ropey gristle beneath tissue transparent skin. This is the first time we've done such a thing. Mother objects at first, but begins to enjoy my fingers pressing her fingers, the muscle root in her forearm, the small marbles that roll across the muscle. Often these days we dance to ABBA or Queen, quick 2-minute waltzes on her green cat-haired rug that's always crooked. She's not been touched much in her life. I die if a day goes by without a love. She never hugged us once we'd stopped being small. My sisters and I are knotty trees in Mum's garden. Now I try to feed and care for her with lavender oil and hands, hoping some of the love I taught myself will soak into her fingers and backflow into her body through the fibre she's grown over her untouched desire. So, yeah, the prize. So what is amazing about that is it's completely true. And my mum used to buy the cheapest moisturiser and lots of chocolate. And she would never spend money on herself. All her clothes were from thrift stores, and everything was like cheap, as it were. And she didn't sort of value herself in those ways. And I'd start using kind of aromatherapy oils around the house and doing my own kind of inner healing and all this sort of stuff. And so this naturally kind of came out of this. So we did develop, through those last 10 years by dancing and by little massages and stuff like that, a much better connection, especially in the last couple of years of her life. It did kind of come through. My own kind of deep meditation practice allowed me not to be in reactivity so much to her. And so her fashizzle would kind of, it lasts for about 10 minutes when you first went round. And then it would kind of settle down, put some music on, ABBA or Queen, that she used to like. She really liked Cheap Trick, and she liked Pink Floyd as well, actually. God bless Cheap Trick. That's all I can say. And so beloved. And so the book came out, and that poem somehow reached the attention of the Oxfam charity. And they asked me if I would record it especially for them. And they put it out on this CD. It was available in every Oxfam shop in the UK. And I know most of you will be in the US watching this. But that CD, there were other people on there as well. But that CD managed to raise about $100,000 for an old people's campaign, helping old people in wintertime. So it just shows you see, that when you speak into truth instead of mawkishness, and that when you actually just write down something real and true, as Hemingway used to say, then you never know. But when you write it, you never know, as it were, that it's going to have an effect or not. I could tell you about more poems, but I just wanted to read you that one. Listen, I've got to be off. So we've got this event tomorrow. If you're anywhere in the UK and you want to come up to Bradford Lit Fest, I'm in conversation, as I say. It'll be in the City Hall. I think it's at 1:30 in the afternoon. So today's the 28th, so that's the 29th tomorrow. And because I'm doing that tomorrow, because they actually switched the dates on me, that was meant to be now while I'm talking to you. And at this moment on the 28th of June, and they programmed it for tomorrow without telling me. And then I realized it, and so I had to shift my meditation, my open meditation, the open meditation. So that's this afternoon. If you'd like to join me, I know there's only like a few hours to go. At this stage, it's about noon, or 11:30 actually. By the time it goes up on Substack and YouTube, it'll be noon. If you go to the Substack, the link is there. If you go to the Authentic Living network space on authenticliving.life, then the link is there. And hopefully see some of you for meditation. If no one comes, because we've messed up on the dates, and I'm getting this to you late because it's just been literary madness the last few days. So much stuff going on. It's untrue. I'll give you a proper catch up in another video. If no one comes, I'm going to meditate and do my practice anyway. That's the sanest thing I can do. Lots of love, everybody. Take care of yourselves.